everyone. Thanks to all for joining, and let's go ahead and get started. So today we're going to go through how to speed up your checkout process. So we're going to provide you 3 ways that you could get more efficiency out of your check-in process or checkout process and making your business operations day-to-day more efficient. So one of those is going to be improved speed of transactions by cleaning up your touchscreen ticket entry. I'm going to show you examples of what a nice clean ticket entry looks like, or touchscreen looks like, and also provide you some tips and tricks regarding some buttons and some good ideas to help utilize. We'll also be going over email receipts that will help save on paper, and a lot of times these days the customers don't want to keep receipts anymore. They just want them to be in their email, and so it's a great option to have available at your disposal. We're also going to go through suppressing credit card signatures for efficient checkouts and also to save space in your database, because all of that information gets stored and it adds up rather quickly. So with that, we're going to start with how to suppress signatures on the payment terminal. The first thing we're going to do is you're going to log into your NCR Secure Pay using the credentials provided from NCR. Once you're logged in, we're then going to browse to the settings at the top right of the main page. This is going to allow you to change that setting when you see this window. So when this window opens up, you're going to scroll down to the signature handling highlighted here. You're going to make sure that you check the EMB suppress signature box right here. And then we're going to enter in 999,999 for the MSR signature limit. This is basically saying any dollar amount up to almost $100,000 will not require a signature. So I think that covers mainly every spending habit a customer can have. If you have those big time customers, then right on, you might want to get a signature for them. We're going to save changes at the bottom left-hand side right here. And then on the registers, you're going to want to go and reboot the Ingenico. You can do this either manually on the device itself or through the Ingenico utility. And then once that's rebooted, you're going to want to go ahead and reboot the register. After those reboots occur, the changes that you made in Secure Pay will then be synced down to your credit card device, and you will no longer be required, or customers will no longer be required for their signature. So quick, easy, and it saves a lot of time and a lot of space in your database.
Rob, I believe it's only in newer versions of Counterpoint. Is that correct? You have to have 855 and above. Is that true? You
are correct. Yes, sir. Okay. Yes. Basing this off of as of January 1st, 2024, we should all be above that version per NCR standards. They are only going to support 8572 and 2 versions below. So moving forward, this will be available for everyone once they get updated if they are at an older version.
Great.
All right. And then moving on, we're going to clean up our touchscreen. Here's some tips and tricks that you can utilize to help you make your touchscreen more appealing to the cashier and also more efficient in finding items and steps that you normally take during your day-to-day transactions. A couple of those would be to combine.
Rob, sorry.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I have one question about the credit card suppression. Customer wants to know if the credit card company has any issues with us removing the credit card or removing the signature option.
It does not seem that is the case, because everything is moved over to EMB, which is a more secure way of handling credit cards. Signatures are technically a thing of the past as of now.
Yeah, I've heard of a lot of credit card companies thinking about doing away with them, or maybe they already have, kind of. So.
It's moving in that direction. The signatures, be it by providing a more secure encrypted format of the credit card, such as tap and insert, then the need of a signature is not really relevant anymore.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Absolutely. All right. So some tips and tricks on your touchscreen is we can combine similar items by using a button page. So that alleviates, having to find the item if you need another item and scan it, or look up the item manually. You can just simply click on the button page and click on the item that you wish to sell. 2 steps, rather easy process. A lot of times you get so caught up getting busier and busier that you never really get rid of unused, unwanted buttons, such as old discounts, or I'll show you here shortly that the pay codes, having multiple definitions of a Visa, MasterCard, those can all go away now. So it can simply be a credit card button, and that can be at the bottom of the touchscreen and just give you a lot more efficiency on that checkout process. A lot of times, images or no images. What works best for the cashier? Is it going to muddy up the screen? Is it, easy on the eyes? So I want to show you that as well. You want to make sure that the colors and the contrast of buttons are easily legible for anyone looking at the screen. Yellow background with white letters doesn't work as well. So you want, if you do have any of those, you might want to take a check out at this and make them a lot more legible. Well, it looks like I doubled up. We're going to group some similar items together with button pages. It's a really good tip. So I really wanted to make sure you guys understood that. And then we'll also show you that the fact that you can use multiple touchscreens. Say you're seasonal, you can have, every season as a touchscreen and be able to load that touchscreen as you go through your seasons and have those buttons predefined. So that way it's an easy transfer in, transfer out. All right, and with that, I want to show you what a good representation of a touchscreen looks like. Ryan, can you see my screen? Everything looking good?
Yep, looks great.
All right, cool. So this is a good representation of a really clean and efficient touchscreen. You'll see at the top right here, we have our buttons on the right-hand side. They have the favorites grouped. This is the most used items. What do you sell the most? Well, that's the first button in the list, and you have those grouped together for easy accessibility for the cashiers to be able to ring up a customer. That's something that's extremely well done. And also, I want to show you that you can, instead of grouping similar items, you can also create a button that creates a filtered item lookup. So this button right here, under $50, we'll click that. It provides all of the items that are under $50 in a window, so you can easily see what is available for purchase for the customer. That's a really, really handy trick to save on time and to alleviate any questions or concerns on what does this cost. Well, hey, there's a button for it. As you can see, you do have some really good bright colors, but nothing gets lost in translation. You have the black outline on the text to be able to see it pop. And this does utilize a good representation of how to use images. It doesn't take up the whole button. You're able to, read it with accuracy. You can see exactly what's going on. And at a quick glance, you can say, hey, here's the golf balls without even having to read it. So that's a good example of how to use images in your touchscreen to help speed up the process as well. Another thing that I would like to point out is the pay button. When dealing with pay buttons these days, you can see we have a Visa and MasterCard separated from the credit card button itself. Now, keep in mind that these two buttons, really Visa and MasterCard, these will be used on back office workstations mainly. You will be able to utilize those buttons based on if you're taking over the phone orders or something of that nature, to where you can click on what the customer's credit card is and input the information and be able to run orders on the back end without having a credit card device attached to your register. However, from a cashier's standpoint, something to be a lot easier on them would to simply be, as you can see right here on the bottom right-hand side, just having a credit card button available. So when they need to finish that transaction, they don't need to dig into any messages or menus. They simply click the credit card button, pay ticket balance, run the card, and get the customer on their way. So that's another thing, is you can clean up your pay codes, make it efficient on the cashier, and help ease that process along. So that's a good representation of cleaning up your pay codes to make sure that the customers don't have to sit in line and say, oh, which one are you using again? It's irrelevant at this point. Another thing is utilizing multiple touchscreen layouts. I'm going to exit out of here real quick just to show you how easy it is to switch between touchscreen layouts within your stations. So we're going to go to stations right up here. All right. And then we'll browse to our first station. And right here, you'll see the touchscreen code. Now, you can label your touchscreens as winter or summer or fall or however you like, depending on your sales and your business operations. And you'll be able to easily change that by clicking the search bar, the search function, and changing it between those, whatever touchscreen works for your point in time, for you during that point in time. It's as easy as that. It takes a little bit of work on the back end to set up, but we have some good configuration tips and tricks. If you visit our YouTube channel, you'll be able to see more information on how to configure the touchscreen, how to set up touchscreen buttons, and how to make multiple touchscreens as well. So, all right. And then the last thing that we have going is going to be setting up email to be able to send receipts to customers. That saves a lot on paper. And like I said earlier, customers are really steering towards that more digital world that we live in today. And so the first step would be we want to go into the management console. This is going to be, if you're hosted on our Era environment, RCS would take care of this for you. You just provide the server host and a username and password for the email itself. Any customer-owned goods, this is an easy setup. You simply log into Management Console, browse to your server right here, go to the Mail tab, and then input this information. Port 587 is going to be the standard port for email. And other than that, the email address, password, and then the default from address. You can also add in a blind carbon copy email address for anyone who would like to receive any emails that go out to customers or want to keep track of things. Once you input this information, you're going to click Save, and then we're going to go into Counterpoint and browse to Setup, Point of Sale, and Form Groups. At this point, you would enter an email. We've already had this, completed. So I'm just going to browse, but email is going to be what you want to set that up for, email or receipt. And then you can see document type as ticket. You're going to be able to email a receipt for a sale ticket or a reissue ticket. After that, you're going to go into the forms group right here, the forms tab. And you see on the right-hand side, it says printer method email. You can choose your receipt that you use for your business, input it into this table right here by searching for it. And then under printer method right here, you're going to make sure that email is attached to that. And then we're going to click Save. And at that point, your form groups will allow you to send an email to a customer. It'll show up as a button whenever you click, whenever you receive the receipt prompt. And you'll have the email receipt, gift receipt, and ticket receipt. You'll be able to print out an actual receipt for the customer if they want to, or email it to them at that point. And the customer does not need to have their email in their customer profile. You could just enter in the email, grab it from them right then and there, and then you would have the availability, if you use customer profiles, to add that email at that point in time on the fly. If not, you can just get their email every time they come in and shop and send it their way. All right. And, rather easy. Like I said, we have a lot of tips and tricks, and it's rather easy process, but in the long run, it really saves a lot of time and gives you a lot more options available to make the customers happy. All right. And then we're going to go back over to my slide. I think I have a couple more things. That's it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Rob. A lot of great information there. Does anyone have any questions, or do you have any tips and tricks of your own? Have you sped up your own checkout process? Let us know in the Q&A in the chat. Also, visit our YouTube channel for more. We have a lot of videos, constantly posting new information, so check it out. We have a question here. Can customers get an email and print receipt during their transaction?
During the transaction has to be finalized, but they can get both a emailed receipt and a printed out receipt if they so desire. They will have the option for both of those. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have to enter each customer's email address in the server? I think they're referring to that first part that you're talking about in the setup, and I believe the setup was who it's coming from, right, Rob?
Yes. So that is correct. It is going to be on the server. You will have to perform that work, but that would be the only setup for who it is coming from. The customer's email will either be entered in at the time of sale or in their customer profile if you use those.
Great. And I assume you want to use like maybe not a generic email address, or maybe like customer service or something like that, but
no reply, receipt at, something that the customer will know it's coming from your place of business as opposed to some random person trying to hack them.
Gotcha.
Perfect. Awesome. Thanks everyone for joining today.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.